So we want to
Okay.
welcome you
Okay.
to the official call. We're so glad to have you here. Your career started back in Florida in the amateurs. So can you tell us a little bit about that and how you got started in this game?
Yeah, I saw Muhammad Ali fight Joe Frazier in 1974. And after seeing that, I realized that Muhammad Ali was beating Joe Frazier not with his fist so much as he was with his mind. So I said, wow, I
Mhm.
can do that. I ain't never gonna get angry. I can outthink anybody, I can piss anybody off, and I'm never gonna get angry. So I think I can do that if somebody teach me how to use my hands. So I started asking my father to let me box. He never did, but he would box with me on the floor like till I got about 9 years old. He would get on his knees and box with me, but he would always beat me. But every day I tried to come back to win again. So I think he saw the desire in me that showed I wanted to fight. When I got 10, he let me start boxing. My first fight
All
was
right.
1979, I think Labor Day weekend. Yep.
Well, Roy, you said that your dad never boxed himself.
Actually, he
Was
did.
he
He boxed in,
surrounded?
no, he
Oh, he
boxed in the
did box.
Armed Force. Yeah, he boxed in the Job Corps. The late great
Okay.
Sarge Johnson, who died with the 1980 Olympic team in that plane crash, that
Yeah.
treasure train plane crash, he taught my father how to box.
Oh, okay.
All right.
A
Yeah,
little history. A little history goes
yeah.
back with your dad.
My My father actually fought Marvin Hagler back in his early pro career and lost and got
Wow.
stopped through the cuts.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so Roy, your
You
your
never
your
know.
career then continued after the amateurs. What was the amateurs like for you? I mean, what medals and things that worked for you as you were growing up?
I didn't do a whole lot. I won about 10 Alabama State Golden Glove tournaments because I live so far away from South Florida, 10-hour drive to Miami. They told me just go fight in Alabama Golden Glove because that was only an hour and a half drive. So I won like about 10 Alabama State Golden Gloves. Then when I got old enough, I won the National Junior Olympics in 1984. That was my first national tournament. Then 1987, 86, I won the National Golden Glove at 139. Mind you, I won the National Junior Olympics at 119. 2 years
Wow.
later, I won the National Golden Gloves at 139. A year later,
Wow.
I won National Golden Gloves again at 156.
You were
So
cooking. You were cooking, baby.
you were growing. You were growing.
You
Yeah.
were cooking.
Yeah. Now I know that one of the things that I want to talk about is both everybody. We all know, but how did you put the disservice that was done to you at the '88 Olympics? How did you put that behind you and move on?
I really never put it behind me. I actually put it in front of me. I used it as motivation to get up and go every day. Because they
Okay,
robbed me. They robbed me. Then they gave me
that's
the Val
true.
Barker Cup. They gave me the Val Barker Cup that says I'm the best fighter at the Olympics. So now, since y'all robbed me, but y'all gave me the Val Barker Cup, I now have to go prove that I am the best fighter, not just at the Olympics, but on the planet. So I use that situation for motivation.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And
Yeah,
and Roy, when you turned pro, you were such a natural talent. I
yeah,
mean, it was enjoyable for me to watch you
yeah,
fight
yeah.
because you were smooth. Like you said, you could outthink your opponent. And the big one for me was uh, I believe there was a fight that you went out and played a little basketball. I don't know who
Yeah,
Yep.
your
he did.
opponent was
Yeah, yeah,
prior to that,
yeah.
but you went out and played a little basketball that morning, and then fought the fighter. I can't remember who it was that evening.
So the thing is, the first biggest misconception about me is that I'm the most talented fighter of all time. That's not true, number one. Number two, the guy that I fought the day that I played that basketball game, his name was Eric Lucas of Canada. After that fight, he went on to become the WBC super middleweight champion and held that title for 3 years. So that was not no bum that I fought. After that fight, he went on to become WBC super middleweight champion and held the belt for 3 years. Was not a bum. So,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roy, rarely do the sons of famous boxers match their dad's accomplishments. A fight over in Europe between the sons of Eubanks and Ben. What did you do? You think that fight lived up to the legacies of their father? Because their fathers, it was a heck of a fight between
that fight,
Nigel
yeah,
and Eubanks, senior.
That fight more than lived up to the expectations. And I'm gonna tell you why. One guy started at 140, the other guy started at 160. So one guy is naturally physically bigger than the other guy, and it still turned out to be just as good a fight almost as the dad's had both times. So that means it overachieved its expectations because with that big of a weight gap, we never would have expected them to put on that type of show.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, I didn't know, Roy, that you were promoting your boxing show as Roy Jones Championship Boxing. You just recently, April 11th, had a fight card. I believe was in Washington. Tell us about that.
In Washington, I had 4 guys to fight on that court in Washington, and all 4 won. But it was an exciting night because I also did color commentary while I was doing the corner work. So had 4 of my guys. My first guy was a heavyweight that made his pro debut, Darnell Thompson. He won by first round knockout. My second guy was Frank Duomo from Germany, a guy that's going to be a guarantee. He's going to be a force on the lightweight scene soon. My third guy was Andrew Murphy, who's actually from Washington. And my fourth guy was Shady Gamora from Sweden, who was making a rematch against the guy that I thought they robbed the first time, but they gave the other guy the decision the first time. So Shady came back and beat him clearly this time. So that night I hit a 4. I was 4 for 4. Great night for me and my fighters, and I love things like that.
Okay. So now also you have the 2025 Hell Boxing team in Europe. How's that going?
Yep. That's going pretty good. Last year turned out really good. We had some really good fights in all the tournaments leading up to the finals. The finals was a great night. A few guys won some pretty good prize money, and we up in the ante on it this year. We back at it again. So 5 different shows. I think one in Hungary and one in it's 3 or 4 different places. Then we ended up in December back in Hungary again for the finals, and I'm looking forward to another awesome event.
Now, Roy, when you were fighting, to me, your biggest challenge was when you moved up in weight and fought as heavyweight. I was just amazed that you were able to go up all that weight, fight him, and then I refereed your fight coming down when you fought Antonio Tarver. I remember in the interview you saying and mentioning how tough of a struggle it was to get that weight off.
It was very hard to get that 25 pounds of muscle off. It was the first time I'd ever gained that much weight, and it was the first time that I had ever lost that much weight. And it showed to take a toll in the long run. But to accomplish what I accomplished and to do what I said I wanted to do, which was win the heavyweight title, then come back and recapture the light heavyweight title, I would have gave my life for it. So I don't care nothing about all that happened after that. I did exactly what I wanted to do, and nobody else has done that. Actually, George Fitzsimmons didn't even do it. I mean, Bob Fitzsimmons didn't even do it. He won the middleweight title, won the heavyweight title, lost it, then won the light heavyweight title. So I thought he won the middleweight, light heavyweight, and recaptured the light heavyweight. That's all he got recaptured. But he didn't do that. He won the middleweight, then won the heavyweight, then won the light heavyweight. So nobody's ever done what I've done. Went up the ladder and came back down the ladder. And I don't think it'll ever be done again.
Well, let me ask this to add on to that. I remember you really had to use your head in that fight because there were times you had to go to the ropes and just kind of press in between the type of punches you wanted to throw and the combinations you wanted to throw, because that coming down in weight took a little bit out of you just to do that.
Because my body was so fatigued. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had nothing in
I
the tank,
think,
and I want to fight and beat him with nothing
Yeah.
in the tank.
yeah.
Yes, you did.
I think there's only two people that have ever went from middleweight to heavyweight, and you were certainly one of them. I think the other one was Chris Byrd. Started at
Yes.
middleweight, went all the way to heavyweight.
All the way
No,
down.
no,
No.
no. That he started middleweight as an amateur, not as a professional. He started middleweight as an amateur. Professionally, he started with heavyweight. And
Okay.
I won the middleweight title. He never won the middleweight title. He never won like
Yeah.
heavyweight title. So it's a
Okay.
difference. I won titles in all those weight classes. He didn't.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Now, I got to ask you this question, because the only person that seemed to be your nemesis was a guy that allegedly you guys started in the amateurs in Pensacola, Antonio Tarver.
Mm-hmm. Not in Pensacola, and he was not my nemesis. And we just said, I fought him when I was depleted at the end of my run. I didn't fight him in the middle of my run. If I fought him in the middle of my run, he would not have been no nemesis at all. But because I fought him at the end of my run, it made it a tough fight. He is a great fighter, and he's a very tough competitor. But he was not my nemesis because he wasn't there when I was at the peak of my prime. You understand me? He was there when I came 25 pounds down, and he got a depleted Roy Jones and beat me. As an amateur, I beat him. The first fight I fought when I was depleted, I beat him. So it's truly 2-2, but he caught me at a bad time as a professional because I had shredded 25 pounds of muscle. Do we really call that a nemesis?
Yeah. I got you.
Is that really even? So that's really not even. Yes, that's not even fair because he found out when he went and made that Rocky movie and he lost the way he came down to fight Bernard Hopkins. He found out how that was. And after he got new respect for it then.
Well, I wanted to give you the opportunity to clear that up, because most people think that Antonio Tarver was your nemesis. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to it so everybody would know.
Well,
in my prime, I had no nemesis. Had I not lost the weight to come back down, you would have saw I had no nemesis. There was one Roy Jones. There was a creature that God created that was unlike anything we ever seen before. That's why we never seen nobody win middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight title. Then go back down and recapture light heavyweight title. They can't do it. Even James Toney, though he failed a steroid test, he won super middleweight, probably light heavyweight, cruiserweight for sure, I think. And he won heavyweight, but they took it from him because he failed a drug test. But no way he could ever came back down and recaptured the light heavyweight title, I guarantee you.
Well, my next question was about James Lights Out Toney. You guys fought at the MGM. I remember, I don't remember what round it was, but you guys were kind of taunting each other, and you kind of did a motion, and I don't know what that motion symbolized. And then James Toney kind of reacted to what you did, and then you caught him with a shot that forced him to go back into the ropes, which was ruled a knockdown. Explain that moment, Roy.
Well, the thing about it was James was a great fighter and Roy was a great fighter. Anytime you have two great fighters match up, you got to figure out how to get an edge. So the first couple of rounds, neither one of us could gain an edge. Then I thought about something. Sometime when I will fight and I will see him fight a couple months later, I will see him copy my stuff, right? Nobody else knew this, but I know because I know my stuff when I see it. So I said, you know what? Somebody got to take charge here. Let me see if I can do something and make him copy my stuff. So I showboated a little bit first, right? To get him a little bit pissed off. Then I gave him the chicken roux, right? I knew he was mad. I knew he was mad. So he did it too. I said, oh, I got him. So I went into it again. Boom, left hook, knocked him across the ropes. And that really was the momentum switch, that momentum shift that I needed to take control of the fight then. And that's what really ultimately won me the fight.
So raising chickens was a part of your upbringing.
was a big part of my upbringing. Raising chicken, chasing chicken. I was the real live. I wasn't a Rocky movie. I was the real live version of the Rocky movie. You understand me?
Yeah.
I used to chase chickens all the time. To this day, sometimes I still make my fighters chase chickens sometimes just to work with the footwork and get their feet and the reflexes right, and to teach them anticipation.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, Roy, there's a conversation going on out there about women fighting 12 3-minute rounds as opposed to where they are now. Amanda Serrano has brought this to the table. But what has really it's generated a lot of conversations. But one of the things that the WBC, who's anti that, but the other thing that the WBC is talking about maybe doing is making men's title fights 2-minute rounds. What is your take on either one of those?
I don't like the men fighting 2-minute rounds because it's just like basketball. In WNBA basketball, we see maybe one dunk every 25 games. You understand me? In basketball, the 3-pointer is big, so now they got that because they can do that a lot more because they are very good shooters and they really very skilled. But women are just not as strong physically as men. Therefore, we're not going to see as nearly as many knockouts with women fights as we are with men fights, unless it's just a total mismatch. That being said, when women start to fatigue a little bit, a lot more holding and stuff goes on because the power is not there, right? So, as great of a fight or greater two fights as Amanda Serrano and the other girl had, it's like, why would you want to mess that up? 3-minute rounds probably would mess that up. If they don't believe me, tell them match them for 3-minute rounds for 12 rounds and watch how different and how much uglier of a fight that it will be than the 2 fights they already just had. If you want to if they really want to run a test, put them back in the ring again, let them fight 12 3-minute rounds, and let's just see. That'll prove me wrong or to prove them wrong. You understand me? Because I can guarantee you, if they go 12 3-minute rounds, that's not going to be nearly as good a fights as them last 2 10-round 2-minute or 10-round 2-minute rounds worth. I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm.
But they can run a test. See, we can fix that. Pay them, let them fight 3-12, let them fight a 12-round fight, 3 minutes, 3 rounds, and see what happens. Go back and look at the 3 fights, see which one you like best. If they do better, then change women boxing to 12 rounds. But if they don't, leave where it's at. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Them fights they had were epic. Them fights were some of the best fights you ever want to see between anybody. But because they were 2-minute rounds, they were able to keep that pace up and keep us on the edge of our seats. You understand where I'm coming from? So, with a man, he's supposed to have more endurance. It's like, okay, let me take you back to the farm life. It's like a chicken. When a rooster get old enough to start breeding, he actually first had to beat the hen, or he had to run the hen till she stops. So he had to have more endurance. It's just the fact.
Yeah.
This ain't me saying this is like God-given facts. This is what people see. We didn't get away from nature, which is what God gave us. You understand me? That rooster gonna run all day till you get that hen to submit and stop. And that hen knows at some point I may well just stop because he not gonna stop. You understand me? What's the same with men and women? Men are built different, they're built stronger, they got more endurance. So why would you put a woman out there for the same thing a man's supposed to do and expect the same thing out of her? It's not gonna happen. And they definitely shouldn't change the men because 2-minute rounds of men gonna feel like amateur boxing. Now you're gonna take away the art and the skill of boxing because everybody's gonna go out there and try to battle and win. So it's gonna turn more into a street fight. Whereas with 3 minutes, you got time to operate, think, set things up. The smarter fighter, the better fighter mentally, and the better conditioned fighter is usually gonna win. If he's better mentally and in good condition, he's probably gonna win. If he's not mentally, if he's not physically in shape, and the other guy is, then the other guy gonna beat him. But 3 minutes gives all the chance to play out. 2 minutes doesn't.
Well said. Well said.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Roy, what fight of all the fights during your career that you would put as the fight that made you who you are today?
It's hard to say, man. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna give this like this. The James Hunter fight really put me on the map because he was 44-0. I think I was 26-0. The 2 top dogs were meeting like should be always. When it's time for the top dogs to meet, we met. And my heart always goes out to James Hunter because he was a man. He was a winner. He was pound for pound the best, and he wasn't ducking nothing. You understand me? If he ducked me, maybe I never got a chance to become who I was. He wasn't ducking nothing. He wanted to prove he was the best, and I want to prove I was the best. That's how the game went back then. We didn't have no friends. We want to find out who the best. You understand me? So that fight was what put me on the map. The Montell Griffin rematch fight showed people that I do have another side of me, a really vicious side if I want to be. But the first Antonio Tarver fight showed people the heart that I possess. You understand me? They show people that I got something in here too. Because without that, without knowing that, you can't call him a brood rooster. You can't call him a brood stud. Because you got to know that brood stud, like Secretary, he got there what it takes to come back and catch that other horse before he crossed that finish line. You understand me? That night against Tarver, that first fight, I had to prove that. You understand? Because I had no energy. I had no nothing. I wouldn't have bet on myself that night because I knew I was done. But I came back because the will to win kicked in and proved that I have this. So those were my probably 3 most important fights in my career to me.
Then my next question, Roy, is there a fighter out there today that impresses you as to where he's at and where he's going?
Terrence Bud Crawford.
Would you like to see him? Well, not only why, but would you go ahead, Roy?
Because Terrence Bud Crawford has never ducked no smoke. If they bring it, he took it. And he ain't scared to take it right now even. You understand me? So anything they brought down his street, he fixed it, packed up, and sent it back home running. You understand me? When you do that, like Andre Ward did, when you do that, I had to go out there. What more can I say? Andre and Bud are last too. They last of a dying breed. They didn't care who it was. Come on, they want to know, just like I did. And I love that because that shows me they follow my shoes like I follow Muhammad Ali's shoes, like I follow Sugar Ray Leonard's shoes. They want to be the best. They wanted everybody in the world to know that they were the best. I want to be the best. I want the whole world to know that I was the best. Bud, Andre Ward want to prove they were the best. Heck, y'all, same thing. Want to prove they were the best. You understand me? So anyway, he's trying to prove that he's the best. He ain't willing to go up and wait to try to take challenges that probably out of his range. But he knows fighting those little guys over there that nobody knows, nobody gonna ever call him the best. So he's trying to come over here and find him a name, even if he got to move up and wait to make him give him the opportunity to say he the best. Usyk fights them all because Usyk wants to be what? The best. Before he didn't have to fight Bill the first time, he had to fight him the second time. Bill too. They have to fight each other. They want to prove that they the best. You understand me? Who else I think gonna be like that is I think Boots is gonna be the same way. I think at 47 he want to fight the best. I like Javante Davis because he ain't really ducking no smoke neither. You know, he taking his time, but he ain't really ducking no smoke. Haney didn't duck no smoke. Haney took whatever came his way. He ain't ducking no smoke this weekend. He got a tough fight coming this weekend. Shakur trying to get that smoke because he want big fight, you know. So I like guys that want the action. You understand me? Only thing that bothers you a little bit when they start, you know, well, he my friend, I want to fight him. It's enough titles true that friends don't necessarily have to fight, but in this game, it's a game of solitude. You know what I mean? It's a one-man game. So it's like tennis. We can't, they do play doubles, but it's also a bet out there that says champion. And they can play doubles, but when it comes to that championship belt, it's every man for itself. Because tennis is a one-on-one sport like boxing.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, me and Byrd was on Channel 8 yesterday on Sports Wrap.
Yeah.
And the question they asked us at the end was, what fight that's out there today that we would like to see? And we both agreed that we'd like to see Crawford and Canelo.
Yep.
And if that fight was to happen, what would be your prediction? And just expound on that a little bit.
I think that fight is going to happen in September. My prediction is different than most people because I'm going to say it like this. I love both guys. Don't get it wrong. Both guys are absolute marvelous, fabulous fighters. Have more closer lineage to Bud because I watched his first few fights. I watched his early part of his career. I commented on HBO. But Canelo is by far the bigger man, right?
Yeah.
If Canelo come in and fight the right fight, Canelo could win. But if Canelo boxes Terrence Crawford and allows Terrence Crawford to take the center, nowhere in the world will Canelo beat Terrence Crawford.
Right.
I got something that you've talked about, something that's close to my heart too, and that is the best fighting the best. People want to see competitive fights, and as a performer, you owe that to the public, the paying public. But there's a movement out there now. In the very beginning, there's this alleged connection between Dana White, UFC, and Turkey, that they want to get together and they want to form what they call the boxing league. And what they want to do is they want to go back to 8 divisions, 8 champions. That's it. The way it always was in the very beginning. That if they can do that, it may change the whole face of boxing, because it's going to go head to head with all of the sanctioning bodies, because they've got like 32 titles out there. What they want to do is go back and say, when you say this guy is a champion, he's going to be champion because there's going to be only 8 divisions. Do you think that marriage between Dana White and Turkey can work? And if it does, will it change the face of boxing? Because it's definitely going to go against the sanctioning bodies.
I love what they're trying to do. I respect what they're trying to do, but the sanctioning bodies are what really have made boxing for so many years. Without the WBA, we don't know that Muhammad Ali is the world champion. Without having the WBC around, we don't know who's the world champion. Now it's only 4 real recognized organizations that really can have champions: WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. And they were formed in that order. To have 8 weight divisions, to me, is going backwards. Why are we going to go backwards when everything else has advanced to going forward? Basketball back in the day didn't have a 3-point line. Now they got a 3-point line to help them go further. You understand me? Everything has more to create more points, to create more opportunity, to create more fights. So having more belts create more fights. You understand me? And there are other guys, like back when Ali was fighting, certain guys couldn't get to be champ because Ali was the champ, was the only champ, was only one belt. Well, some of those guys were championship caliber guys. Would have been good for them to be able to go out and win a belt, and then maybe put that belt on line against Ali to find out who's the best, which is what we always try to do, why we try to become undisputed. That's when you got the best trying to be the best. But to go out and cut it back to 8 divisions, you're going to have a lot of weight disparities, guys that can't fight in certain weight because they're too big for this weight, but too small for that weight. You're going to create a lot of problems that they already eliminated by changing the weight classes. You understand me? You're going to undo some of the structure that's been done well to help this thing be better. So in essence, you might make it worse. You understand me? Because now you're taking away where it's only 8 belts. Well, boxing is not used to that no more. Used to be with 1 belt, it was the WBA, but now you're making 8 weight classes. I mean, not belts, 8 weight classes. Boxing don't want that right now. Boxing try to make it as fair as they can by creating more weight classes so that people can have a better size, not be at such a size disadvantage. You go to 8 weight classes, you're gonna make it really hard for a lot of people to make it in the division, because they need them extra weight classes for the people that too small for this weight class but too big for that weight class. That's why they created junior middleweights and junior welterweights and light bantamweights and super bantamweights. They did that to try to make up for the disparity in size. So I don't like that part of it, but they know what they're doing. And if it works, cool. I mean, I'm not fighting anymore, so I don't really care about that. I just want the best for boxing. I think that's a step backwards for boxing, though.
Okay.
Well, Roy, you have enlightened us with a lot of information. I love it. I could probably go on another couple hours asking you about your personal take in the sport. But now my question is, now that you're retired, like you mentioned, what hobbies, what other than being a promoter, what else are you doing, Roy?
I fish, I rap, and I teach boxing. That's all I do.
How the boys doing?
They're doing
How the boys doing, Roy?
They're doing good.
Good. Yeah. I got a chance to watch them perform once.
Right. They're doing good.
Yeah. They're doing good. They're doing good.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not doing any commentating. You and I worked on the Creed 2 movie, and you were doing the
Right?
commentating when I was in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, after HBO, I didn't really get any other big job. I worked with ProBox for a little while, but that didn't really work out.
Mhm.
And Jim Lamplin tried to get me hired with the situation he's doing now with Turknam for the fight in Madison Square Garden, but they said they wanted to go a different direction. So I don't beg nobody for nothing. So if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's what it is. So I do what I love doing. I love teaching boxing. I love fishing, and I love getting in the studio. So everything that I love is what I do. The rest of it, I don't care nothing about it.
Well, I want you to know that I personally think that you were one of the best commentators because you knew the game.
Yes.
You'd been in the game,
Yes.
and you weren't afraid to say that's not something that should be happening, or that shouldn't have gone that way. And you need that. You need that honesty about the game, and I applaud you for that
I
because
applaud
you
you as
did
well.
you did it well.
You
Thank you,
did
guys. We lost a great one.
exceptionally
We lost a
well.
great one that also did it. But the problem is, boxing don't want that no more. They don't want the truth. They don't want reality. They don't want people that can tell them what's really going on no more. They don't want people to tell them why this guy should be, why this guy losing, and why this guy winning, what this guy need to do to win, and what can make this guy less effective. They don't want a person who truly knows that no more. They want people that are big on social media, who have a following, who gonna make people pay to watch him commentate or her commentate because so many people know them, and that's what brings eyes to the fight, which brings money to it. They're not worried about the people understanding boxing or people being enlightened on what's going to happen because there were several times that I can remember while I was commentating that I could call what was going to happen a couple of rounds before it happened, and it happened just like that. So I don't like to go into it, but it's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. Roy, I've enjoyed this time with you. I know you're busy, you got a lot of stuff to do, but keep on doing it well. We love you, man.
We love you.
Love y'all
And I
too. Love y'all
ditto, I
too.
ditto.
And thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you for tuning in to the official call.
And to stay connected, subscribe to join our official squad below.